Thank you so much also for joining us. I would like to, without any delay, I would like to request Professor Dr. Manzoor Somro, who is the president of the Eco Science Foundation, for your remarks on the occasion. Thank you.
At the outset, I would like to express my deep appreciation to the leadership of the Institute of Peace and Diplomatic Studies, and of course the Riphah Institute of Public Policy for formalizing their partnership with the Embassy of Uzbekistan in Pakistan for providing us this opportunity, Excellency, and bringing us all together to underline the significance of diplomatic, scientific, and educational cooperation between Pakistan and Uzbekistan. I belong to an organization which is a scientific technological cooperation, so my talk will be more around that. Ladies and gentlemen, human capital development in the form of science, engineering, technology, and innovation, what we call SETI for short, plays a critical role as the basic building block that is essential to develop a strong base of countries for boosting their socio-economic growth and sustainable development. Adequate investment in education, youth engagement, and expanding the bilateral and multilateral cooperation amongst ECO and SCO, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization and the Economic Cooperation Organization, member countries, is the key to nurture human capital development and to foster the industrial development, which Excellency also mentioned. These are very important to develop the strong cooperation in many economic sectors. And to achieve these massive goals, it really requires a robust commitment to support a number of interventions to increase the access to quality SETI education at all levels in ECO and SCO regions. Particularly for strengthening the cooperation between Pakistan and Uzbekistan. I truly believe that there is a tremendous potential for partnership and working together programs in key areas of education, science, technology, trade, industrial, and agriculture. So the connectivity is really the core determinant to this entire initiative. Thus, the Economic Cooperation Organization region, which includes Afghanistan, Azerbaijan, Iran, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Tajikistan, Turkey, Turkmenistan, and of course Uzbekistan, being an important part of the BNR, holds a great potential and significance as an important gateway to connect China with the Middle East, Southwest Asia, Europe, and beyond. And I think that's an opportunity that we should avail. Meanwhile, most of the ECO member countries, the giants China, Russia being main members of SCO, I think holds even greater potential for multi-phase cooperation and trade development between these two regions. And with Uzbekistan as chair of SCO and a strong member of ECO, enjoying good bilateral understanding with member states including Pakistan, greater opportunity to bring the two organizations together. Excellency, through your good office, highlight this and propose a stronger cooperation between these regional organizations, ECO and SCO. Current ACO chair is with Turkmenistan, and I think stronger joint programs in science, technology, engineering, innovation, education, culture, and youth engagement can lead to a greater understanding of people of member countries and to enhance the trade and economic activities, which is our ultimate goal anyway. In this respect, the experiences and robust capacity of China in SETI can be leveraged upon in a befitting manner, and we can learn from China's huge economic and development growth, which is directly linked with its decade-long investment in human resources and cutting-edge scientific and engineering and technological capabilities. I think those are some of the prerequisites to really expand your business development. Ladies and gentlemen, ECO Science Foundation, as I said, is based in Islamabad, Pakistan, being nurtured by the government of Pakistan and is an intergovernmental organization of 10 countries that I mentioned. It's a specialized agency of ECO, and we are mandated to promote scientific and technological research and education with an end goal to raise the socio-economic standing of 10 member states. And to pursue the end goal, capacity building of member countries is the key prerequisite. Thus, the foundation is striving hard to bring its member states on board to help them benefit from the expertise and capacity of not only the organization but world-leading STI institutions that are our partners for infrastructure and industrial development in the region. Both countries, Pakistan and Uzbekistan, have a great potential to be harnessed by developing effective collaborative linkages together to promote scientific and technological research and cultural integration, not only on bilateral terms, but also among other members of ECO Science Foundation and SCO, since Uzbekistan is at the end, ladies and gentlemen, I like to emphasize that our future economic standing and development of our society solely depends on our ability to nurture our young minds, our youth, to be the future generations of responsible citizens in the form of future scientists, engineers, managers, diplomats, policymakers, and entrepreneurs. Therefore, we must inspire our youth to embark upon quality education to meet the challenges of the future. The future of planet will rest in the hands of generations informed and educated with regards to cutting-edge technologies and innovative solutions that only come through effective education cooperation in the region. Time is a constraint, so Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to highlight the program that we are undertaking at the moment, but my point of view is to emphasize on particularly the youth, and we have a number of programs that we engage. We have a strong collaboration with the Chinese STI institution. We are strongly engaged with the youth innovation programs, and we welcome partnership by Uzbek institutions, and I like to request His Excellency to help us in this respect. I assure that the ECO Science Foundation will continue to fully engage with the institutions like the Institute of Peace and Diplomatic Studies and Riphah International University, and encourage our member countries to support meaningful initiatives, promote science education, technology, and innovation in Pakistan, Uzbekistan, and the entire ECO, SCO region. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
You so much, Dr. Manzoor Somro, for your kind remarks. And thank you so much for the outstanding work that you're doing at your organization. Mr. Kabul John has joined us from Tashkent, who is the Director, SCO Center for Public Diplomacy. Mr. Kabul John, floor is all yours.
I'm very pleased to take part in this seminar to mark the anniversary of diplomatic relations between Uzbekistan and Pakistan and Chairmanship of Uzbekistan in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Institute of Peace and Diplomatic Studies and the Embassy of Uzbekistan in Islamabad, other organizations, for inviting me to talk on the historical basis, current trends and future prospects of cultural and humanitarian aspect of our collaboration. While talking about Pakistan, it is worth to mention that today the country ranks among the 11 states with the greatest potential to become one of the world's largest economies. Thanks to its huge political, economic, social, cultural, humanitarian and human potential, as well as advantageous geopolitical position, balanced foreign political courts, the currently of the Uzbek nation has facilitated through the interpenetration of cultures and spirituality. Rich historical and scientific heritage of that era will remain as the property of present and future generations. As you well know, embassies of two states operate since 1992, then later in 1994. Uzbekistan embassy was satellite relations. Friendship groups have been established in our parliaments. Regular political dialogue at various levels has recently become more dynamic. During the virtual summit held on April 14 last year between President of Uzbekistan and the Chairman and Prime Minister of Pakistan in one hand, leaders of the two countries identified areas for further expansion of mutually beneficial cooperation in all spheres. In particular, they stressed mutual interest in consistently increasing cooperation in such areas as education, culture, tourism, which are vital in constructing of a successful model of multifaceted cooperation between the two countries. Cultural, spiritual, and religious closeness between our countries, traditionally regarded as an effective tool in strengthening friendship, trust, mutual understanding, and respect for each other's interests. Cooperation in these areas contribute towards the mutual enrichment of cultures, formation of a common cultural and humanitarian space. Maintaining cultural ties is also a key condition for building and developing sustainable and long-term relations. Uzbekistan is taking a course to strengthen the cultural dialogue with Pakistan, with the expectation of further ensuring the upward trajectory of relations. These measures will undoubtedly give a fresh impetus to cooperation in scientific and educational spheres, which is an important organic element of our cooperation. Of Uzbekistan, this year Uzbekistan chairs the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. According to the plan of chairmanship, Uzbekistan has set over 80 various events. Up to date, about 70 of them already accomplished. They include, as been mentioned by President Smart, the SEO experts meeting on information communication technologies, poverty elimination, finance and budget, security, science and technology, agriculture, illegal drug trafficking, plant quarantine, health, tourism, sports, culture, environment, and many others. Besides, Uzbekistan hosted various international conferences and forums within the SEO auspices, which is the SEO Touristic Forum, the SEO Forum on Traditional Medicine, the SEO Hub Marathon, International Forum under the Smart City Program. Just recently, under the chairmanship of Uzbek side, the second meeting of the SEO industry ministers was held in Tashkent. Besides, 18th and 19th August, Samarkand will be hosting the SEO Women's Forum. Within the framework of its SEO chairmanship, Uzbekistan attaches great importance to strengthening mutual understanding, respect and trust between the member states by activating cultural humanitarian ties. International organizations, non-state structures, scientific and analytical centers. Pakistan was represented by the Institute of Peace and Diplomatic Studies at this interstate and interregional contact and supporting inter-ethnic, interfaith, and inter-civilizational harmony and dialogue. Likewise, it also aims to develop mutual trust and friendship among the SEO states by employing the best practices of public diplomacy. Another idea driving them an incentive for integration processes within the SEO and expand cultural and humanitarian cooperation, including in science, education, culture, sports, and tourism. As a representative of the Institute of Public Diplomacy, I can say that today, public diplomacy is becoming a good instrument for understanding of the mentality of countries and people, contributes to the further strengthening of good neighborly relations. Undoubtedly, the regular holding of such events will be an important step towards the deepening of cultural cooperation while establishing new contacts. Thus, the prospects are bright and opportunities are unlimited, keeping in view the geographical advantages of our countries. The perspectives of having enhanced bilateral relations between Uzbekistan and Pakistan are very bright. The essential thing needed is a strong political commitment of both countries. I am confident that close linkage between the business communities, better understanding between the intellectuals, and people-to-people interaction will bring dividends in the days to come. I hope that the participants of today's seminar will highlight these areas in more detail. While taking this opportunity, I once again express my sincere gratitude to the Institute of Peace and Diplomatic Studies and the Embassy of Uzbekistan namely Ambassador Smaller, for organizing this event and wish all participants successful work. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kabul Jan, for your outstanding work and hosting us there during the Public Diplomacy Forum. And the highlight of that forum was the connection that we developed amongst people from different backgrounds, especially not only from the member countries but from across the region. Dr. Amna Mahmood, Professor, Department of Politics and International Relations, International Islamic University. Floor is all yours without any delay. Thank you so much also for joining us. I would like to, without any delay, I would like to request Professor Dr. Manzoor Somro, who is the president of the Eco Science Foundation, for your remarks on the occasion. Thank you.
Thank you for the Institute of Peace and Diplomatic Studies for inviting. I would insist that as Pakistan and Uzbekistan are having sharing of information, sharing of their military resources, so I think that security would be an area that would be emphasized in the near future, because threat from Afghanistan is still not over, and we are also we are also facing a threat of second Cold War, the second wave of Cold War emerging between two regions, West and the East, and the old rivalries are being revived. And since we have to be cautioned about our policies, because we are still committed to development and cooperation and peace, and we would not be the victim of the world politics once again, as we have been in the past. So I think that this is an opportunity for Uzbekistan and Pakistan to enhance more bilateral cooperation, and then to work for more regional cooperation, as we are sharing two basic forums. One is SCO, another is ECO. With the liberalization of 5 stans and all Muslim states from USSR in 1990s, it was a great opportunity for the regional Muslim states to combine their interest and play their liberty and independence from the common forum. And Pakistan took this initiative to enhance and to expand ECO, and all Muslim states of Central Asia responded cordially. So I would appreciate that spirit should continue, and we should not be hostage to any hangover of the history in the form of Second Cold War. Secondly, which I would like to stress that as we are living in a world where nations are having more cooperation, more economic relations they are heading towards, and Pakistan's official policy has switched to from geopolitics to geoeconomic, and that is very natural. I don't think that geopolitics can be abandoned by any of the state. That would continue, because economy is controlled by the politics. If our state is going to take this decision that we are switching to economy, it means that it is a political commitment by the two states and the states of the region to work for the independence, for development, for prosperity of their people. And it is sustainable. And without sustainable development, no state can gain its position in region or the world. We have to survive as a stronger nation by developing, by making development of our nation, our people. And that would be important that we cooperate in agriculture, especially for Pakistan. We are having this challenge that we have been the house of grain of this subcontinent, but we have lost that position, and we are importing number of things in agricultural product from all over the world, even wheat from Russia, and lentils from Canada, and milk from Australia and New Zealand, and this is very unfortunate. So I would suggest that we should increase regional cooperation rather than importing from far off regions, one. And then we should collaborate in terms of the development strategies in livestock and agriculture. That was the basic requirement of this region, because food security would be the next challenge to the world. And if we would be able to address this food insecurity, then both regions, Central Asia and South Asia, would be able to face the rest of the challenges we are having. And any nation having food security, in Pakistan, in Punjabi, we say that jide kardane ude kamle vi syane. It means that those who are having food security, they are wise people, because whatever they say, that is accepted. So we should be wise enough to have food security at home, and we should collaborate in terms of agriculture experiences, because this is the same land, this is the same environment, there are the same weathers, so our soils are almost the same, our feelings, our culture, our trainings, and our mindsets are the same in terms of
Same time zone.
and we are living in the same time zone, Farhat rightly pointed out. And being in the same time zone, wake up and sleeping times are the same as well. So I would suggest that we should increase cooperation, and we should not wait for the regional cooperation. We should increase bilateral terms, and then that would automatically be disseminate as domino effect to the whole nation, whole region. And as Pakistan provide enormous opportunity to link Uzbekistan with the rest of the world and another very rich Muslim region, that is Middle East. So I think that bilateral cooperation can be increased in terms of trade and traveling and tourism, etc. And we are always willing to travel to Uzbekistan, because that is the house of Muslim, monuments and Muslim heritage. And we offer the same for the Uzbek people, because Naqshbandis and all these silsilas are also there, and we appreciate that we inherited from Central Asia, Sufism and other things like that. Thank you very much. That is from my side.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Amna Mahmood. You have just given a fresh insight of what has been, we've been talking about. Dr. Amna Mahmood, she is a professor, Department of Politics and IR, International Islamic University. I would like to know that if Mrs. Mukhlisa can hear us very well. क्या आप हमें सुन सकती हैं? You have to unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, the technology. Yes, exactly. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yes. Walaikum assalam. We can hear you very well.
अच्छा मेरे आवाज आ रही है?
जी बिल्कुल आवाज़ आ रही है. हमारे साथ है Mrs. Mukhlisa. She is head of Department of Urdu Language, Literature, History and Culture of Pakistan at Tashkent State University of Oriental Studies. Warmly welcome Mrs. Mukhlisa. बहुत खुश आमदीद. Floor is yours.
अच्छा ठीक है. Good afternoon, dear ambassador. If you allow me, I would like to speak in Urdu.
We appreciate it.
Assalamu alaikum for this Nafano.
Walaikum assalam.
1945 से इस शोबे में उर्दू और हिंदी ज़बानें पढ़ाई जाते हैं और बाद में जनूबी मशरक़ी एशिया ममालिक की ज़बानें भी पढ़ाई जाती हैं. उज़्बेकिस्तान पाकिस्तान फ्रेंडशिप सोसाइटी 1991 से दोनों ममालिक के दरमियान ताल्लुकात की तरक्की में अहम किरदार अदा करते हैं. डॉक्टर ताशमिर्जा ताशकंद में अपने दौर में उन्होंने कई सालों तक उज़्बेकिस्तान पाकिस्तान फ्रेंडशिप सोसाइटी के नायब सदर के तौर पर फाल तौर पर काम किया. डॉक्टर साहब 1994 में दोबारा सिफारती काम पर भेजा गया और पाकिस्तान में जमहूरिया उज़्बेकिस्तान की सिफारत खाने में सेक्रेटरी के तौर पर काम करना शुरू किया, जो इस्लामाबाद में खुला गया था. अपनी साइंसी और तदरीजी सरगर्मी के दौरान साइंसदान ने बहुत से मोनोग्राफ और कई मज़ामीन और तालीमी किताबें लिखी और शाये किए. डॉक्टर तशमिर्जा को हुकूमत पाकिस्तान की तरफ से सितारे इम्तियाज अवार्ड से नवाजा गया. उसके बाद मरहूम जान भी उसको सदर पाकिस्तान ने प्राइड ऑफ परफॉर्मेंस अवार्ड से नवाजा गया. ज़बान सीखने में मुख्तलिफ लुगात की बड़ी अहमियत है. हम यहाँ इस बात की याद करना जरूरी समझते हैं कि पाकिस्तान की मुख्तदरा कौमी ज़बान में मुश्तरक अल्फाज की चंद अहम लुगात छिपते हैं. मिसाल के तौर पर उर्दू और पश्तो के मुश्तरक अल्फाज, उर्दू तुर्की मुश्तरक अल्फाज और वगैरह. मुख्तदरा उर्दू और दूसरी ज़बानों की जुबानी लुगत भी शाये करता है. उनमें मारूफ उज़्बेक स्कॉलर डॉक्टर ताशमिर्जा हलमबाद की उर्दू उज़्बेक लुगत और मरहूम प्रोफेसर अंसारुद्दीन इब्राहिमोव की उर्दू उज़्बेक मुश्तरक अल्फाज के मुश्तरक अल्फाज खासतौर काबिल तहसीन है. ये लुगत उज़्बेक और पाकिस्तानी माहिरीन के तावन का नतीजा है. आज़ादी के एजाज की वजह से मुल्कों के दरमियान ताल्लुकात उर्दू में तर्जुमा किया और ये ड्रामा 1996 में लाहौर पाकिस्तान में पेश किया गया और अवाम की तवज्जो का मकसद बना. मुख्तसर कहानी मेरी यादों की चिनार और दिगर मुसन्निफीन के तहक़ीक़ात उर्दू से उज़्बेक में तर्जुमा करने का काबिल ज़िक्र है. उज़्बेकिस्तान की आज़ादी के बाद 1993-1994 साल के दरमियान दोनों ममालिक के दरमियान सकाफती और अदबी ताल्लुकात कायम करने के मकसद के साथ उज़्बेक शायरों और अदीबों के एक वक्त ने ख़वातीन के एक ग्रुप में पाकिस्तान उज़्बेकिस्तान इक़्तिसादी और सकाफती ताल्लुकात के मरकज़ की दावत पर लाहौर का दौरा किया. 14 रोज़े दौरे के दौरान मेहमानों ने ज़हीरुद्दीन मोहम्मद बाबूर की औलाद ज़हीरुद्दीन मोहम्मद बाबूर की औलाद के बनाए हुए बागात, मसाजिद, मदारात, मीनारों, बानिया पाकिस्तान मोहम्मद अली जिन्ना की लाइब्रेरी और बाग, नेशनल कॉलेज ऑफ आर्ट, मीनार पाकिस्तान जो पाकिस्तान की आज़ादी की अलामत के तौर पर खड़ा है, अल्लामा इकबाल का मज़ार दौरा किया. उन्होंने पाकिस्तान टाइम्स और जंग अखबारात के पब्लिशर्स का दौरा भी किया. वक्त के अफगान ने लिखा है, हमें उनके तर्ज जिंदगी, रस्म और रिवाज, तारीखी और सकाफत को करीब से जानने का मौका मिला. इसी मकसद में उज़्बेक ज़बान के कोर्सेज का इनेकाद किया गया. उज़्बेक ज़बान के पाकिस्तान और उज़्बेकिस्तान के दरमियान डिप्लोमेटिक ताल्लुकात की 30वीं सालगिरह के मौके पर अप्रैल में शोबे उर्दू अप्रैल में मशरक़ी यूनिवर्सिटी में मतलब हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी में उर्दू ज़बान और अदब पाकिस्तान की तारीख़ और सक़ाफ़त नामी एक नए शोबे का इफ्तिताह किया गया. हमें उम्मीद है कि हमारी दोनों कौमों की सक़ाफ़त, उर्दू ज़बान और अदब की तफ़सील के काम में ऐसा तावन जारी रहेगा. शुक्रिया आप लोगों.
बहुत शुक्रिया मिसेस मुखलिसा. आपकी उर्दू सुन के तो हमारी अपनी उर्दू बहुत ठीक हो गई. बहुत खूबसूरत है आपकी ज़ुबान.
और हम उर्दू इसलिए नहीं बोल रहे थे कि आपको समझ नहीं आएगी. हम इंग्लिश में बात कर रहे थे कि आपको समझ नहीं आएगी और हमें पता होता कि आप इतनी अच्छी उर्दू बोलती हैं तो हम भी आपको ज्वाइन करते हैं. बहुत
शुक्रिया. बहुत शुक्रिया. For now, vote of thanks, Dr. Rashid Aftab, Director, Riphah Institute of Public Policy.
His Excellency, Arif Saab, Senator Sanajan Jamali Sahib, Dr. Manzoor Hussain Somro Sahib, President ECOSOC, Dr. Mr. Kabul Jan, Director SCO Center of Public Diplomacy, Uzbekistan, Dr. Amna Mahmood Saiba, Professor Department of Politics and International Relations at International Islamic University, Ms. Mokhlisa, Head of Department of Urdu Language, Literary History and Culture, and Tashkent Oriental Studies, my dear colleagues and friends, Farad Saiba and Asif, and all the distinguished guests and professors from other universities as well, some students and my fellow colleagues. It was really a pleasure and honor on the behalf of us that His Excellency and other distinguished guests came to discuss the 30 years friendship process between Pakistan and Uzbekistan, and the role of this is very encouraging that now Uzbekistan is chairing relations between Pakistan and Uzbekistan with respect to the two agreements, whether there's a transit and professional agreements. Air connectivity exists between the two countries since I think 2006 or somewhere. Trade diversification is earlier it was just only the textile or some very few products. Now it has been diversified into the electronics, agriculture machineries, and those kind of things. And one very exciting thing which I didn't know about it, that within the last 5 years, the joint ventures has increased about 6 times, I think from 35 to 170 something. And this is very encouraging. And plus, though, and something new which is very exciting is that the concept of joint manufacturing is being considered by the various industrial players between the two countries. This I think this is a very exciting moment for us as well as for the Uzbekistan. Plus, on the SCO forums, you have rightly highlighted the series of the events in context with the agriculture, food security, public diplomacy, health, energy, industry, climate change, poverty, and information technology. So this on the agenda of the SCO, which is obviously all these areas are very pertinent in context with Pakistan as well. And this is and obviously the challenges is enormous, and particularly in context with the post-COVID era. And obviously you are not only chairing the SCO, but you have to face all those challenges and how to make this forum a most vibrant, because this is a very vibrant forum in terms of, if you see, about 40% of the population live in this under SCO, plus it is spreads or stretched from think about Arctic to Indian Ocean, and from Shanghai to Russia. So it's a huge area, and this is a and one more thing which is happening between Uzbekistan and Pakistan, that trade cooperation has reached to the next level, at the level of the regional, that the provinces are engaging each other. Provinces are engaging in terms of declaring the twin cities, provinces are engaging in terms of some trade agreements. This is a very unique way of engaging, and we are looking forward for peace in Afghanistan, because the peace in Afghanistan, although some positive signals are coming, but still it's I think it's a long way to go. Professor Somro Saab has absolutely highlighted. He started his deliberation from the human capital, and he ends his deliberation from the young youth bulge, which is about in Pakistan about 40 to 50% is about the huge bulge. So he highlighted that aspect and how to utilize that human capital for the socio-economic development, and from the socio-economic development to the sustainable development. And he has rightly indicated about the BRI the connectivity in terms of multilateral cooperation. Then the Dr. Kabuljan, he highlighted the current and the future trends, and particularly he also he highlighted the various areas of the cooperation and the concept of the smart city and the role of the public diplomacy in engaging the various countries. Professor Amna, I think the most important thing which she, in addition to give an overview, and particularly she has some and rightly and a logical reservation in context with Afghanistan and the probability of the third world war, and how to disengage in the individual countries from that world mess. And the one important aspect which she highlighted is the geoeconomics now, which has emerged as a new concept instead of geopolitics. But I think I was just reading somewhere, what was his name? A very famous Swedish economist, Gunnar. Yeah, Gunnar. He said when there is a economic integration carried out, actually what happened, if the things are rest on the market forces, what happened that the countries who has a large economies or who so they eat the economies of the small countries. So that is the concept of globalization. So usually what happened that's why so many like regional cooperation organizations like SAARC, they are not successful because of India or something like that. But in our case, in Pakistan and Uzbekistan, that is not the case. We have some very common grounds in terms of demographic configuration, in terms of historical perspective, in terms of the religion, in terms of economic skills, etc., in terms of the mutual strengths of the economic sectors between the two countries. I think there is a lot of room is there. And last speaker, but not least, मुखलिसा, और उन्होंने बहुत अच्छी तौर से एक तरह से पूरी हमें एक लैंग्वेज की जो रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन उज़्बेकिस्तान और पाकिस्तान के अंदर जो कॉमन लिटरेचर है और कॉमन कंट्रीब्यूशन है जो मुख्तलिफ स्कॉलर्स ने, राइटर्स ने, पोइट्स ने, तो वो जो उन्होंने की है उसकी उन्होंने एक ओवरव्यू दी है. तो once again thanks to all of you. It was an excellent session. I think Farhat is going to develop an excellent report of this session, and she is going to share with you for your further comments and assessment. Jazakallah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's have a quick photo and then we go for chai.
आप लोगों ने हाँ
On agriculture, 75%. We need to have more cooperation. And the third element, that we are suffering from climate change. The world is going to revolve around food, water, and health. So we all Central Asian countries have to work together, His Excellencies. These were the points. And I really appreciate Farhat and Asif, that they have been cooperating with us and they really work hard. So we need to ponder these things. Another thing is that we want to invite you to Balochistan, and we want that the CPAC countries should come, and especially the Central Asian ambassadors. Last month, our Kazakhstan ambassador said, I am the first ambassador to visit Balochistan. So the ground parameters are really different. And the other element, you are concentrating about railroad to Kabul. So why can't it can be Chaman also? So these things we have to work together.
Thank you, Sana. Thank you so much. Let's have a group photo together also.
Final comments from
Final
His
comments.
Excellency.
Yes,
Just taking the extra privilege from Dr. Rashid Aftabsar to say a few words. Of course, thanks, first of all, many thanks. As the brilliant masters, as Senator Sana Jamal Saiba said, our mentors, our ustadan came today to highlight their visions. I was attentively listening and taking in notes of every and each suggestion that we today heard from yours, and of course you are absolutely right that something that bilateral level should be, if we are not doing it there because of the globalization, it should be very well done by the bilateral on the bilateral level. And of course the women entrepreneurship, which I did not mention before, we're already working on that, and we will be more than happy to get the help from the Center of Public Policy if we will bring the women entrepreneurs and of the two countries together, starting from the online summits and seminars, and then coming to the practical projects that can be done. Then agricultural is also very, very important. That's why we are now signed the cooperation between the Ministry of the Food Security of Pakistan and the Ministry of Agriculture of Uzbekistan. Already been signed, but when we will come to the implementation of that, definitely your valuable inputs and suggestions will be highly needed, just in the agriculture and agricultural machinery. And of course, what we have done already with Balochistan, I just want to highlight you that starting from last year and this year, our delegation already visited Port Gwadar city, where we have seen all the facilities that the Gwadar, and then of course we visited, our delegation was comprised from ministries of commerce, ministries of transport, railway authority, and custom authority. We visited Karachi and the Qasim ports, and of course Gwadar port was the first as there is exploring the Gwadar port. So I am sure, inshallah ta'ala, hopefully that the Balochistan province would be a next province where the Uzbek provinces can explore their opportunities, as the Karakal Pakistan, we say stans, and Republic of Karakal Pakistan is very eagerly waiting for the cooperation. And Kashqadaria region, Surkhandaria, Farghana, and Dijan, all of them, they are looking for expanding that cooperation with Balochistan, with Sindh province. Karachi is also very important center of industrial center and the ports province of Pakistan. I'm having said that, I'm very grateful again to Dr. Riphah Tabsab, and inshallah we say from tomorrow Dr. Farhat Asif for inviting me and inviting such an august celebrities today, professors, politicians, and inshallah with this way forward, when we have our Uzbek counterparts, as you see in Uzbekistan, is the pace from the young generation up till the elders. We always pay great attention to learn more the Urdu language, Urdu literature, history, because it's one of our uniting us. It's people-to-people, cultural-to-cultural contacts. And I would like to invite all of you to the Tashkent State University to visit our Urdu department, to see that how many things has been done in Urdu language in Uzbekistan. And Ustadan, the teachers of Urdu language like Ustaz Tash Mirza, Ustaz Ansar ad-Din Naka, and now the young generation like Mukhlisa Shar Ahmedova, they are trying their best to bring to the Uzbek youth, young generation, the love and respect to Pakistan, to Urdu language, to Pashto language, to I hope Baluchi language and Sindhi language and others. So, having said that, this kind of people to people and culture education contacts are very important for the bright future of our young generation. Thank you very much again for your kind generous. Thank you.